Hi, thanks for choosing this video to watch. Today I'm going to be modifying this disco ball because I think it's not exciting enough. The colors are pretty, but it's not bright. So, first thing is, I have to open it up, and I'm going to use the Dremel tool. Now my plan is to mount a whole bunch of LEDs inside of here. So I need to measure the inside diameter of this globe so I can cut an acrylic disc that I can mount the LEDs into. The other part of my plan is that these LEDs will act as a VU meter, so I can pipe music into it and the disco globe will react to the music. And there are lots of ways to do this, but I've been interested in learning how to program microcontrollers, so that's what I'm going to do for this project. Lucky for me, lots of people have already designed VU meter programs for microcontrollers, so I just downloaded one from this fellow, TechMaker. There's the URL. His is a simple and elegant program. You can see one input there and then room for 10 LEDs. Well, actually 11, but I've only used 10. And so all I had to do was upload it onto my Arduino Uno, and off we go. And I've split off the wires from this 3.5 millimeter jack. The hot wire is going to the A0 pin, and the ground is going to the ground. And I'll be plugging that into this little tape player. These pins, 0 through 10, are connected to 11 rows of LEDs. Actually, it's 11 rows, 2 LEDs per row. And actually, the top row has 6 LEDs in it. And I'll show you why later. So, all that's left to do is, let's see here. I don't actually remember what's on this tape. I just grabbed it. So, in you go, and in you go. Oop, there we go. It's playing something. Haha. It is responding to what's going on. So I'm turning down the volume. There's nothing. Turning up the volume. There's lots. So, proof of concept. Now I'm just going to assemble it. So I made different sizes because I wasn't sure which one would fit. I think this is going to be the one I use, but I want to make sure that the LED fit. And I measured it to 5 millimeter because these are classified as 5 millimeter LEDs, but I just want to make sure. See how this little lip is here? My plan was that it would just go boink, and it does. Look at that. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to populate this with LEDs, and then span over. And then stick it in here like that. Wait. Oh. It was this one. This one fits in. Just perfect. Doink. This one's too big. So the first inner ring will be all one voltage. That's going to be the bottom layer of the VU meter, basically. So this will always be on, whether there's music or not. That way, this will be brighter no matter what. So, just continue to take LEDs from here and put them in here. All right, just pausing to reflect on what it is I'm doing. I've connected all the positive leads together and all the negative leads together in this first row, and then I'm started out inserting each of the other rows across from each other. And you can see, luckily I did keep that film on there because I needed to keep track of which row I was inserting. So 2 is over here, and 2 is over there, and 3 is over here, and 3 is over there, and it spirals out. It's kind of neat. I won't film every part of this, I'll just swipe. Alright, so I took the Arduino off of the breadboard and wired it all up directly from one pin to 2 LEDs. And ooh, look at that. Here we go. Looks like it's working. That's bright. That's very bright. That'll be nice. I can turn down the volume until it's nothing. So that just stays on. Yeah, that'll be nice. Right. Next step. Pausing for a moment to talk about how this will be operating basically as a VU meter. And VU stands for volume units. So it's just measuring the average volume of the signals entering from the positive and negative. So here's the positive. And this is the positive, and this is the negative. So that's doing the same thing as the LEDs were doing, just reacting to this signal. Pretty cool. Want to see what's inside of that? I'll show you. Just for fun. This, I was just messing around with. The original bulbs were burnt out, and I can't find any this small to fit into these little holes readily, so I just replaced it with some yellow LEDs. But there we go. I could take this card off and it'll probably show what's inside here, but I suspect it's just a coil of wire. And inside this here, it looks like there's a post that's freely floating around an axle with the little coil of wire around this needle. Reacts to changes of voltage in the between the positive and negative posts. These are just the LEDs. So what we see here is the same thing that's happening in the LEDs. It's just that each LED is connected to a different pin which registers a different voltage. Well, I decided to connect these LEDs up to an Arduino using this new proto board that I found through Christian Blasseau's channel. There's a link right up here where he actually goes through a tutorial on how to assemble a bare bones Arduino onto one of his proto boards. And it's difficult to see even this close, but they're very versatile. This is there's 3 buses here going down the center, and there's 4 columns of connected rows. It's kind of complicated. It actually took me a little while, but it's so much more useful than something like this, where you have to keep putting jumpers here and there to get your electrons to flow the right way. So, according to his tutorial, I put my Atmega 328 chip on his board, and I have tested this out because it just took a while for me to figure out. But now I'm gonna show on videotape, on video, that it does work. So let's see here first. The music is on, but you cannot hear it. And on goes the power. And there we go. So there's a little VU meter responding to the music. It's all connected to this little chip here using an Arduino Sketch. So the next thing is to take this and insert it into the disco ball. For anyone who's interested in what's on the inside of a disco ball, it's this. Look, I'll turn it on. This was where the light bulb was, and I cut it off and I capped off the ends, and I'm going to take these little wires and shove them down through here, because on the bottom, fortunately, they left a hole. Actually, there was a cap there and I took the cap off. So the wires are going to come out that hole and feed back into this proto board. Then put the ball back together. I'll have a disco ball. Ta-da! Okay, one more test before the final test. Turns out I needed to trim this down a little bit because it was touching the edges and spinning, and it shouldn't spin. This post stays stationary and this travels around it. So I trimmed that down. Looks kind of shaggy, but that's okay. And it's coming out the bottom end. All these little wires. To here, to there, and oh, press play. Hey, look there. This goes how? Like that. Like that. And then da-da-da! It'll look better in the disco. Oh, that's really nice. Huh. Who knew that would happen? I did not know that would happen.
it. Oh look, you can see the little crack.